God hears the cry of the oppressed. God is not silent, He hears the cry. In the book of Exodus, we encounter a God who is not distant, not silent, and not indifferent. God says, I have seen the misery of my people, I have heard their cry. This is not simply a description of suffering, it is a revelation of who God is. God is the one who listens, the one who is moved by the pain of His people. The cry of the Israelites in Egypt was not only a historical event, it was a theological moment, even when it seems that God is silenced. But Exodus reminds us, His silence is not absence. He hears deeply, even when the world is filled with suffering. The cry continues in our world today. Today, that same cry has not disappeared. It continues in different forms around us. We hear it in the poor who hunger in the streets, in migrants forced to leave their homes, and in victims of injustice whose voices are ignored. We can see it clearly in places of war, such as in Ukraine and in the Gaza Strip, where innocent people suffer every day. Homes are destroyed, families are separated, and lives are filled with fear. These are not only about political conflicts, they are human cries for dignity, for peace, and for life. In these painful realities, we may wonder where God is. But Exodus answers us, God is there. He hears every cry, even those that seem forgotten by the world. But God does not only hear, He responds. And His response is surprising. He calls human beings as He called Moses. This is essential for all of us. God hears, but God also sent us to His mission. Liberation is not only God's action, it becomes our mission. This challenges us deeply. If God truly hears the cry of the oppressed, then we cannot remain indifferent. Indifference becomes a kind of silence against God. Even the smallest act of love matters. As I remember a simple moment, sharing my bread to a poor person on a street, it seems small and almost insignificant. But in the light of Exodus, that moment becomes meaningful. Perhaps God had already heard that cry. Perhaps God was already present. And perhaps, without realizing it, I was being sent. So the message of Exodus is not only about the past. In the world we live in that wounded by war and injustice, the question is no longer whether God is listening. The question is, are we willing to listen and to be sent?